Ready for a no meat, no egg, no dairy, fast, low cost, little energy to make, great tasting meal? Then let's make one. Hello. Lasagna. I've been waiting to make this forever. And the reason is because there was never any cheese that I wanted to use that was plant-based in a lasagna. So what I'm doing is I'm using Kraft's Provolone slices. This is new. I did a review on it on September 1 when it hit the stores, and I just absolutely loved it, and you can watch the review. And so I said, hey, you know what? And they only made 3 different ones, which was the Provolone, the cheddar, and the American. So I thought, so I made a Provolone meatball sandwich. It was just fantastic. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna make lasagna, which I haven't made in years and years. And that's because there just has never been any cheese to make lasagna with. Now you can make lasagna basically a whole bunch of different ways. If you want to get technical and say what's like the original lasagna was like and what it was made with, people have made so many variations of lasagna since then. So it doesn't really make much difference what the original was because there's just variation. And it's great because some of the variations are fantastic. This one, obviously, because I have to shift away from anything that was sort of original that was animal product completely, I'm just doing this without the sort of traditional, I say traditional, but not everybody ever did it, which was the flour and butter roux that went on in between some of the layers. So my layers are going to be, basically, the big part of my layers is the vegan protein, which is, I'm using veggie patties, and I'm using vegan balls. These are basically the replacement of meatballs. So this mix I think is going to be great because I love the flavor of these. I'm going to put everything I used in the description so you'll see what those things are if you want to get the same thing. So these I love. There's a couple of brands. There's 2 brands actually that I really love. One I use on my pasta every week because I eat my Friday night pasta. It's tradition with me. So, and that's up on my channel too. That pasta dish is up there. And I love these veggie patties. They make great veggie burgers. I use them on all kinds of things. I've chopped them up, broken them up, put them in salads, done all that. All this is heavily flavored. So I'm not gonna bother, and so is the sauce. The sauce is an off the shelf. So this is a marinara I'm using, but I'm mixing all this into it to make it what would be traditionally called the meat sauce, or now it's going to be vegan product, plant-based sauce. So this is a really great roasted garlic marinara that's vegan. And again, in the descriptions I will put where I got all this stuff, including the noodles and everything else. This I made. So this is a mold that I made a couple of days ago in my shop. And it's 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches, which fits these particular noodles perfectly. So I just don't have to do any side cutting extra pieces to fill in and any of that stuff, which is great. And then I have a heavy aluminum base in here. This is my overflow pan. So when this goes in, this is going in the toaster oven. So overflow pan, so it's going to overflow. If any overflow comes out, I don't think there'll be much out because I'm going to make the sauce very, very tight. It's not going to be a watery sauce. It's nothing in here is really watery. So I'm going to use tomato paste to thicken this marinara that you can use off the shelf, and it's delicious. So everything is already heavily flavored. I am going to add a little bit of green onion in, just because I like that. And at the end, I'm going to have a little extra basil, some very fresh basil. Just cut it off my plant a few minutes ago. I love that on it. I don't think it's traditional, but I like it. So I'm going to put it on mine when I eat it. And that's about it. So I'm going to get started getting all this stuff prepped and into here. So I'm going to prep it first, and then I'm going to mix everything. So I'll be back in just a minute after I get... Okay, I'm back. I know that was just like the blink of an eye magic of video, wasn't a minute. But I got everything just chopped up here. So I haven't quite mixed it, but as you can see, this is what it looks like. So these are the meatball or plant balls over here. These are the veggie. I'm just going to mix all this together in the sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take some of the tomato sauce and put it in here. And I've, just so it's clear, it's the first time I'm making this. So if I make any mistakes, which we'll know in the end after it's cooked, it's just an experiment. I love experimenting with food. I have a passion for it, just trying new things, seeing how they come out. It's just the most fun part of making food and being a food maker. So I reserved this sauce, which this is very traditional to have not the meat sauce, let's call it. I don't want to call it meat sauce, but the veggie protein part not be the sauce you pour over the top at the end. And that was a very big thing with my father, who trained me as an amazing chef. He always had the regular sauce that didn't have any meat or anything in it, was just the tomato sauce, which goes over. So it's like you eat spaghetti and meatballs. Let's call it that for now, for plant balls. You put that all together, and then you put the sauce on top. So it's kind of separate and not mixed in. In lasagna, the center part is where all the meat goes. So you just pour the sauce on the top. And you don't pour a lot of it, but enough to have that extra sauce. I like it that way. It's really good. So let's get some of this tomato sauce, or excuse me, tomato paste in here. And stir this up. And this is really going to thicken this up tremendously. I'm going to just use a little bit more of that. I think it needs it. And again, I like it dry. I want it to sit up. When I take this mold off, I don't want it to move. I don't want it to fall apart and start dripping out all over the plate and not look like lasagna. Because I've had lots of disappointing lasagnas. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That's really heavy, nice and thick, should hold up quite well. Okay, let's put the meat in, or excuse me, not meat, veggie protein. So let's get all this in here. And we're just going to stir this around. I mean, to be honest with you, this looks just like the actual way it would be made traditionally with an animal product. I mean, it's just beautiful. Can you see that? It's fantastic. So I'm just going to stir all this up. And see how thick this is? This is just going to be like a paste in between every layer of the pasta. Oh, it's beautiful. Let's make sure we get everything coated. That is just amazing texture and everything in there. Look at that. You can see that really well. Put that up there. Look at that, how well it just sits up on that fork. Ah, just great. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, we can start actually making the lasagna. So we're going to do that. I'm going to just dust this off a bit. Like that. And I'm going to trick here where I'm going to take the pasta. I'm just going to put my mold down on it, and this is going to make me perfect size pieces. And I get 2 out of here. Wow, that just worked out beautiful. Okay, so let's put that in there. Let's get that down inside there. We can actually just set it right there and drop this right over the top of it. Just absolute perfect fit. Can't ask for anything better than that. And so we're done with that. And let's get the first layer going in here. And it's going to be this stuff, which is great. I'm going for some pretty hefty layers in here. Now, this mold is 3 inches deep. So you probably, whatever you use, it's going to be a little different. I just did this for a test to see how far I can stack this up. I mean, I really don't care if I get all the way to the top of this, because that's kind of like the objective. to make these layers pretty robust. Yeah, that's probably about enough. Okay, so let's do another layer of pasta. Look at that, how beautiful that fits in there. It's just excellent. Actually, that's good. Okay, so, and now we're going to do a layer of cheese. So we're going to put the cheese on top of here, and then we're going to do a thin layer of this again with the cheese, so it's not just sandwiched into the sauce itself. Well, starting to look great. Starting to look fantastic, so we're going to do another layer. So actually the good news is we can just sort of cut these right in half. And I think that's about half right there. Oh, that just works so beautiful. Probably take a little off that edge right there. The next one. Okay. Let's put another layer of cheese down there. Ooh. I don't think we want that paper in between there. That just would not be appetizing. Now the cheese slices don't exactly fit perfect, but they're going to melt out a little bit. They're just about 1/4 of an inch shy around the mold. It's not a big deal. You're still going to get them in every bite. So let's pile another one of these in here. Now, we're not going to make the full 3 inches, but this is going to probably be about 2-inch thick lasagna when it's done. Fantastic. Okay, let's put some, got the one right here. Stick that in there. I'm going to put a little bit of green onions right in here. This is not something you need to do if you don't want to. In fact, you can saute onions or whatever you want, add more garlic, all this. I'm just doing this as a real, just total experiment, see how it comes out. And then you can make all kind of modifiers. You can make a mushroom lasagna, you can make a zucchini lasagna. I mean, there's just so many things you can do. And you can have more cheese, less cheese, whatever you feel like doing. So I'm going to let that cheese get that onion absorbed into it right on top of there, just like that. And then another layer of pasta or noodle or lasagna noodle. Okay, let's see. It's right there. They do hang over here, so let's just take that off. Put that in there. Did I miss something? Let's see. I think I missed the layer of, oh yeah. Sorry, missed a layer of. Awesome. Let's switch to a spoon. Oh, that's it. It says we're going to do one last. Yeah, this layer's a little thin, but it's okay. Just covering it. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Since I have some more sauce, I'm going to make just a little bit more of this. Top layer is going to be a little bit thinner than the other, but because it won't have as much meat in it. But again, I'm experimenting, so. There's just a little area that probably needed a little bit more coverage. And I'm just mixing in the plant-based stuff in there. Want to get it, make sure you get it all the way around. Yeah, very hard to judge exactly what you're going to use when you're making something for the first time. It's a little bit difficult. Okay, now we put the last layer of, we're almost at the top. This is very thick, I have to tell you. It's extremely thick. And then I'm going to use the last cheese right on top. And I'm hoping that this is going to brown up real nice right on top, as the cheese should, and we'll see what happens. Can't get that undone, just leave it in there. Okay, so it's built, there it is. Got a little extra onion in there, which is nice. Next time I do it, I would probably, well, it's going to be a huge serving anyway, so it's not going to really make much difference. I think it weighs in there. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I just love that flavor of that. It's just the best marinara out of the off-the-shelf jarred marinara. I mean, I've made it from scratch before, and I say, why? There's no real reason to. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake this. I don't really know how long it's going to take. I'm thinking somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes, somewhere in there, maybe a little less. I'm going to keep checking it to make sure. And then when this is done and it comes out, that's when I'll be back. Okay, it's out. It's here. Wow. It's almost to the top. It's probably about 2¼ to 2½ inches deep. This was 3 inches. I made this thing. So it's just beautiful. And just as a note, just before I put it in, I thought, something, I'm going to put a little of the sauce on top. I didn't want it to dry out because I wasn't sure how well the provolone, the Kraft cheese would melt out and everything else. So, and it could have just dried out. It's hard to tell. But it's nice. I just put a little layer, just a tiny bit. You can see it there. So now, getting it out of here, that's going to be the trick. That's the hat trick, as they say. So I have my flexible spatula here. This was actually my father's spatula. This one doesn't have his initials on, but I have one of his that does. But this is what he used when he was a chef, one of his tools. They all had this rolled up thing of tools that they'd take to work and then take home or put in their locker while they were at the wherever they were working. So I'm gonna loosen this around the sides. Just go down with the spatula, just like that, and just kind of get it. It wasn't stuck at all, so it doesn't need to be freed. I'm just really hoping that it stands up beautifully. That's really the main thing, that it's a nice, firm lasagna. Okay, so then I'm going to take it out of here. Now, also, nothing came into this pan. It's just a little bit sitting here. So I'll put a picture up there, you'll be able to see it. It's just a little drip over is all it was, nothing much. And that's it. So nothing even got into this pan. So I'm going to just lift it out of here. Give me an idea of how much it weighs. Oh my God, this probably weighs 6-7 pounds, easy. All right, so let's get this set over here. I'm going to run the spatula underneath, and I'm going to try and slide the whole thing off and then lift this off on the plate for the presentation. So let's stick that over there real quick. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. So again, this is entirely an experiment. I'm going to see if I can get underneath it. Okay, so I am underneath it now. Just to free it up. Oh, that worked out quite well. Okay, now, big trick. I'm going to slide it off this aluminum thing onto the plate. I know this is a bit crazy, but let's see how this works. Little rollover there of the layer at the bottom. Now again, what I'm hoping for, and it may just fall apart, but we're going to find out. Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow. That is lasagna. Vegan, plant-based style. Man, that is just, oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to clean the presentation up a little bit because this was a little longer, this noodle batch on the bottom, and I'm picky, so I don't like it hanging out there. Let's just put that over there and take this piece off. Oh, my. Oh, this just may be a total knockout. Let's beautify it a bit. Look how it stands up. It's just standing there. It's just standing there beautifully. Try to slide it off over here. Get it in the middle of the plate. Okay. That may have been a bit obsessive, but don't mind me. I'm just loving that. Okay. Wow. Here, let's do a little. Oh, first sauce. So we have to pour. I already warmed this up in the microwave. So the whole idea of this is that you have your little bit of extra sauce. I like to dribble it on the corners a little bit. Now you don't have to do this at all. But I just like it. Okay, let's put this on top just so it looks really cool. Can you see that? Just beautiful. You can see the picture. I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay, is that not beautiful? Oh man, that is just gorgeous. It's more than a single serving. Again, unless you're a 350-pound, 5 foot or 6'9", fullback. But so I guess it's that time. We have to taste it, right? So let's do that. Let's see what it tastes like. So I'm going to cut a little bit off this corner. Oh, it cuts beautifully. Oh, man, this is just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Wonderful. Cheese comes through. All the various flavors in the plant-based protein. Oh, man. Sorry. This is just fantastic. I will say this, what I would have done, because this is really large, I think next time I would have used for this size, just me personally, doesn't matter, you can do whatever you want, but I would just double up on the cheese. That's it. I mean, it's there, you can taste it, it's great, beautiful, but I would think I just want a little bit more. It's just a fantastic lasagna. It's fantastic. It's what it is. It's just fantastic. And it all came out exactly the way I hoped it would come out. It's just gorgeous, great, tasty, tangy. Oh, you can, all the protein parts of the plant-based balls and the patties, it's like, you wouldn't know you're not eating meat lasagna, like animal product lasagna. You wouldn't know it. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I certainly hope they come up with a ricotta, a mozzarella, all that stuff, because that just can build on this and build on this. But this is just a delicious dish. Just absolutely delicious. I'm FOODMAKER V, and remember, the best investment you'll ever make is an investment in your health. I'll see you next time.